Back here on Titans Talk. Titans a winner, 23-20 over the Ravens yesterday. Getting your phone calls in here now on the second half of the show. Phone lines remain open, 737-7767 if you'd like to squeeze in. Kristen has been kind enough to wait for us. Kristen, thanks for doing that. You are next up here on Titans Talk.
Hello.
Hi there.
I just wanted to pinpoint some things that I really liked seeing in game. So I really like seeing the touchdowns. I know Rashard Matthews got one. Eric Decker, even Malarkey said he doesn't know how he got out of that coverage. So, but perfectly designed play. I really loved that. And Derrick Henry actually going around the linemen. I really like seeing that. But I really like seeing the 3 interceptions from Kevin Byard. He's a really impressive cornerback, and I think he has some great potential in the future in the season. But I really like seeing Corey Davis out there. I know he hasn't played since the Oakland game. And so and that amazing catch by him, I just think he's going to be an amazing wide receiver, and I really like seeing him back. Long time no see.
Yeah, no question about it, Kristen. I think you echo the thoughts of a lot of Titans fans. Corey Davis just provides a different dynamic to the passing game because he can make the type of play along the sideline that you saw yesterday. The Oakland game early on in the year, they threw a ball up to him. He made a leaping catch in good coverage. The guy was right there in his face, but he made the catch. That's the type of aspect he brings to the passing game that they just don't have anywhere else. And he gives you a guy opposite Rashard Matthews as well. I thought the play calling was good yesterday, and you hit on the playmakers. You get Henry involved. You see some from Murray. You get Matthews a touchdown. Decker finally in the red zone. Finally. This is a guy that leads the league in red zone touchdowns over the last 3 or 4 years. Finally, the Titans were able to find him for a red zone touchdown yesterday. To me, those are all positives of the offense and give you a glimpse of what it can be when they click on all cylinders. So maybe yesterday was the start of them finding a rhythm offensively. All right, thanks, Kristen. We appreciate the call. Let's go to, is it Kennedy? Thanks for the call.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. We appreciate your call tonight.
Yes, I was wanting to ask, is the Titans owned by the Houston Oilers? And if they are owned by the Houston Oilers, is this the reason why they don't win too many games in the last few years and not made the Super Bowl because of the affordable plan of picking good recruits for the football team?
Oh, are you meaning literally owned, or are you meaning figuratively, like Houston beats them every time they play?
Well, literally, who owns the Titans?
Amy Adams-Strunk owns the Titans. She is.
Is he with the Houston Oilers, or who?
No, Amy Adams-Strunk is the Titans owner. She's one of 32 owners in the National Football League. Her father, Bud Adams, owned the Titans, Titans and Oilers from their existence back in 1960. And when he passed away a few years ago, it got passed down throughout the family. Amy Adams-Strunk is now the family member that is the controlling owner of the Titans, but she lives here at least most of the time in the Nashville area. She's around. She's at every game. She's very involved. She's done a great job of making this team a part of the Nashville community and upgrading things to make players feel better about what's going on in the organization right now. So no, there's nothing that has to do with ownership in Houston that plays any impact on the Titans right now. Now, Houston has dominated the Titans in recent years, winning back-to-back division titles and things like that. That's been a real issue, and they've lost 57-14 earlier this year. But
the Houston Oilers.
What's that?
Does she own the Houston Oilers?
No, Bob McNair owns the Houston Oilers. You can't own 2 NFL teams.
Okay. Do you think they're going to go to Super Bowl anytime soon within the next year or 2 or 3 or 4? I mean, I'm a fan, but it beats me down to see them get beat every year like they are.
Well, I mean, they went 9-7 last year. They're 5-3 this year, so they're not just getting beat around necessarily. But, and we appreciate the call, the Titans are a team that's on the rise to most people in the National Football League. Does that mean they can get to the Super Bowl this year or in the next couple of years? I don't know, but it means to most people they're heading in the right direction of being a winning team and on the track towards getting to the playoffs. They have a franchise quarterback in Marcus Mariota. They have the best tackle tandem in the league who are young, serviceable players. They have a quality center who's still in the prime of his career. Good pieces on the outside at wide receiver. They're starting to come in their own. A Pro Bowl tight end in Delaney Walker. You've got some really nice pieces on defense now. Some Pro Bowlers of past years like Casey and Arakpo. Kevin Byard, who's been the best safety in the league this year at this point. This is a team that has a bunch of pieces. We'll see if they can put it together because they haven't all been together. They haven't won this much before, so they're kind of in uncharted territory to be fighting in a division race, to be trying to get back to the playoffs for the first time since 2008. And I think if they get there this year, that's a great step. Get to the playoffs, possibly win a division. That would be a great step for this team. Super Bowl obviously is the long-term goal, however. Let's go back to the phones and Garrett. Garrett, thanks for the call.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well.
Doing well? All right. Well, I mean, I've been saying word about Mariota recently due to the fact that he has been injured in the past few years, and we do have Matt Cassel, but what happens if he does get injured again? And should we try for another quarterback besides Matt Cassel? Like, what's the plan?
Well, my only question there is who's the other quarterback? That's the problem whenever you talk about the backup quarterback is if there were great and really viable options there to upgrade, teams would do it. There just isn't anybody on the market. And, I mean, for an example, Brandon Weeden is on the roster now because when Marcus Mariota went down in Houston and looked like he wasn't going to be active in Miami the next week, and he wasn't, they needed another quarterback. And the best option they found out there was Brandon Weeden, a guy who obviously has played before in his NFL career, but not to much success. So that's what you're looking at. I mean, oftentimes people mistake that when you don't have a great backup quarterback or if your starting quarterback goes down, you just go find another quarterback. There's only about 15 or 20 pretty good quarterbacks in the NFL, and there's about 10 starters that are garbage. So the idea that you can just go out there in free agency or something in the middle of the year and find a guy who's going to be a great option, it just isn't there, unfortunately.
All right, well, thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you appreciate the call, Garrett, and we appreciate all of your calls tonight. The Titans moving on after a win yesterday over the Ravens, 5-3, tied for first place in the AFC South with the Jaguars, and a big game this weekend against the Bengals. Noon kick on Sunday at Nissan Stadium once again. You got to win this one because I think the Titans are just better than the Bengals, so you got to win it for that reason. But also, it's a very difficult turnaround after that with a short week before a Thursday night game against the AFC North leading Steelers. That's going to be a very challenging assignment for the Titans to come back on short rest and go play Pittsburgh. So you've got to win this one, because you certainly don't want to go on a losing streak at this time of the year. And then you go back into the division after that. So a big game for the Titans coming up on Sunday at Nissan Stadium. We'll take our final break here. We will come back. We will wrap things up for this edition of Titans Talk. We'll be back right after this here on News Channel 5 Plus.